Hey there, hi there, ho there, my name is Thomas and welcome to the Second Star channel, the only channel on YouTube that combines the wonders of Disney with the artistic styles of jazz music. Here at Second Star, we cover the history and fun facts of Disney parks and Disney movies. Well, today, I want to focus on one of Disney's TV shows, one of ABC's TV shows to be exact. Let's talk about the show Once Upon a Time and what exactly went wrong. Without further ado, here we go. ABC's Once Upon a Time made its debut in October 2011 and is currently on its 7th season. The show follows Emma Swan, a bail bonds collector who gets an unexpected visit from her son Henry, who she gave up for adoption a decade earlier. Henry is convinced that she is the daughter of Snow White and Prince Charming, who sent her away before the evil queen could cast a dark curse, which froze the fairy tale world in time and brought every fairy tale creature to present-day Storybrooke, Maine. After taking Henry home, which so happens to be the home of the mayor of Storybrooke, Regina Mills, Emma decides to stay in town to keep an eye on him. By doing so, she unfreezes the town and starts to become the savior of all the fairy tale creatures. And that's just the first episode. Pretty interesting premise, right? Well, the show only gets more complicated throughout the 7 seasons as they decide that not only every fairy tale creature ever told exists in this world, but that all these creatures are part of one big, constantly fighting family. What do I mean? Well, let me show you. Emma is the daughter of Snow White and Prince Charming, and the mother of Henry. Henry is adopted by the evil queen, who now is his legal mother, but is also his step-grandmother, since the evil queen is Snow White's stepmother. Prince Charming's real name is David, and he has a twin brother named James. James and David were split at a very young age because King George needed an heir. We find out in season 6 that the twins' father, Robert, was not too happy to give up his son James, but needed to so that David could get medicine since he was a sick baby. James grows up to be a cocky SOB, but then karma stabs him in the back, so King George picks up David to pretend to be James so that King Midas can save the kingdom from bankruptcy. The evil queen, whose real name is Regina, was trained in magic by Rumpelstiltskin, also known as the Dark One. The Dark One is a being of immense dark magic and is controlled by a dagger. Regina was not Rumpelstiltskin's only pupil. Oh no. In fact, her mother, who I guess is the Queen of Hearts in this story, was trained by Rumpelstiltskin when she was Regina's age. Regina's mother, Cora, had a child before Regina with a gardener who is none other than the Wicked Witch of the West. The Wicked Witch of the West, also known as Zelena, was constantly jealous of Regina because Rumpelstiltskin wanted Regina to cast his dark curse, and also Regina was raised by Cora. Also, at some point, each of the 3 apprentices tried to have their way with their millennium-old teacher. Anyway, Rumpelstiltskin is the son of Peter Pan and the Black Fairy, which only makes the title of Dark One more complicated because the Dark One technically derives their powers from the Black Fairy's magic. But Rumpelstiltskin was not always powerful in sorcery. In fact, he used to be the village coward. Why was he given this title? Because he left his pregnant wife Mila behind when he was drafted to fight in the Ogre War. A captured oracle told Rumpelstiltskin that if he fought on the battlefield, he would die and never see his son. So, Rumpelstiltskin did what any normal person would do and slammed a warhammer on his leg, making him unable to fight. Rumpelstiltskin was discharged and returned to his son Balefire and a not-so-loving wife. Mila eventually decided to leave Rumpelstiltskin and her son for a dashing, good-looking pirate named Captain Hook. Rumpelstiltskin loves his son, Balefire, but only when that love doesn't get in the way of his love for being the Dark One. Balefire tries to make his dad choose him over dark magic, but fails. Balefire is sent to the real world and spends some time with the darling siblings and even makes a quick visit to Neverland, where he meets his mother's lover, Captain Hook. Where's Mila, Balefire's mother at this point? Dead. Rumpelstiltskin killed her to get back at Captain Hook. This sends Captain Hook on a bloodlust quest to gut the crocodile, get it, but only when it's convenient for the plot. Balefire returns to the real world after learning that Captain Hook is the reason behind his mother's murder and becomes a con man named Neil. Neil meets a pretty girl who has a similar story of abandonment. Of course, this young woman ends up being Emma. They have a few months of romance before a mysterious guy on a motorcycle warns Neil to leave Emma alone. Who's the guy? Well, his human name is August, but his fairy tale name is Pinocchio. Pinocchio was sent with Emma to watch over the princess when they both evaded the dark curse 27 years earlier. So, August warns Neil, who ditches Emma to get caught by the cops, but that's not the only thing he gave her. Oops, she's pregnant. Can you guess the baby's identity? It's Henry. TLDR, Henry's related to every fairy tale creature except for Cinderella Ariel, Eric, the Blue Fairy, Tinkerbell, and the Seven Dwarfs. Oh, and Elsa and Anna, but I really don't like talking about season 4. Also, Rumpelstiltskin is married to Belle because he's the Beast. They have a son named Gideon who was brainwashed by Rumpelstiltskin's mother, the Black Fairy, to kill the savior, Emma. But of course, the good guys win and Gideon turns into a baby. Confused? Well, this is the first reason why I believe the Once Upon a Time TV show is not as popular as it was in seasons 1 and 2. The fact that every character is intimately connected to everyone else is a lot to remember. Too much in some instances. Believe it or not, I left a lot out when writing this family tree. Like in season 7, Henry now has a daughter, but I'm stopping here before my brain explodes. My second reason as to what went wrong with the show was repetition. Over the course of 7 seasons, there are 9 curses. 9! And for the most part, each of these curses have the same effect on our characters. Everyone loses their memory, except for the person who cast the curse, and Rumpelstiltskin because Dark One? And we see their memories in flashbacks. The good guys win through the power of love, and everything is reset for like an episode. This predictable pattern makes the viewer feel like they're on autopilot instead of being invested in each of the characters, the good or the bad. We just know that eventually all will become good, and Rumpelstiltskin will somehow continue to be the Dark One. That last point bothers me, which leads me to my final reason why I think this show fails. Once Upon a Time writers have little care for continuity. This show is full of errors. In season 5, Emma Swan becomes the Dark One, or the Dark Swan, because of the darkness leaving Rumpelstiltskin because it almost kills him. The show says that Rumpelstiltskin has a heart full of darkness, and as a result, this immortal is actually dying. Once the Dark Swan makes Rumpelstiltskin's heart pure by using Merida and a couple other things, he can pull Excalibur from the stone, unite it with the dagger of the Dark One, and almost vanquish all evil. However, at the end of the season, Rumpelstiltskin becomes the Dark One, again, but this time has no effect on his health? And that's another thing. The show purposely makes the magic of the hearts ambiguous. In season 1, the evil queen kills someone by crushing their heart, but in season 5, Snow White is able to split her heart in 2 and give half of it to Prince Charming so that he may live. So, are the hearts physical embodiments of the person's soul? Or are they more figurative in line with one's emotions, like love? And the biggest continuity error, in my opinion, is that the show tries to convince that all the events of season 1 to the end of season 6 took place over the course of 2 years. I mean, look at Henry. There is no way that puberty hit him that hard and he's somehow only 12 years old. That's just not possible. Overall, Once Upon a Time tries to combine and appease all of its audiences by using every famous Disney movie from the Golden Age and some from post-Renaissance. This worked for about 4 seasons, but then the show went off the rails and threw Arendelle into the mix. I think it's time that ABC finally puts this show to rest. And there you have it, lost folks. Hopefully you enjoyed my rant on ABC's Once Upon a Time. My community question for this video is, do you watch ABC's Once Upon a Time? Why or why not? Let me know in the comments section below. The best comment will be featured in the next video. Like this video if you learned something new. Second Star is on a Sunday-Wednesday schedule, so subscribe and hit that notification bell. And as always, my name is Thomas. Make sure to keep those happy little thoughts, and I will see you in the next video.